news for the state of Tennessee in 10 minutes. Tennessee in 10 is made possible by Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda Hara. Families have been evacuated at this hour after a car crashed through a garage in Madison, which is just north of Nashville. This happened just after midnight. 4 condo units above where the SUV crashed into the garage have been evacuated until engineers can assess the damage and determine if the homes are safe. The Nashville Fire Department has put up braces to keep the homes from collapsing. The SUV could not immediately be removed because moving it poses a danger of further structure collapse. A 1-year-old is back home in Spring Hill after she was shot while in her crib. Doctors say a piece of the crib helped save baby London's life. She was hit by a stray bullet that flew into the family's home 2 weeks ago. Police say the bullet came from a drug deal turned shooting nearby.
It was step by step the perfect scenario for a horrible situation.
A millimeter deeper, she would have bled out before EMS got here.
Doctors say the only reason the bullet slowed down is because it hit this spindle on London's crib. It had only been in the nursery for a few days. The 1-year-old now has to wear a helmet to help her skull fracture heal. But her parents say the biggest challenge is the emotional toll that the shooting has had on their other children.
Their safe haven has been stripped away. How do you explain to a 6-year-old that he's safe to go to bed after this happened?
Police say 2 men have been arrested in connection to the shooting, but that more arrests could come.
I'm Whitney Turner in the WVLT newsroom. A man is facing a felony charge after his dog was found dead on a balcony in West Knoxville on Sunday. The police report says the dog had been left on an apartment balcony for hours. KPD says officers found the 2-year-old pit bull mix had died. In a separate report, Young Williams Animal Center says a dog has already died this summer from being left in a hot car. They're reminding everyone to be aware as we continue into an extremely hot week.
If it's too hot for you, it's too hot for your pets. So just be mindful when you're outside to keep them in shaded areas, keep them hydrated. If you notice them excessively panting, maybe it's time to go inside and cool off, have a water break.
For the case at Kingston Point, officers arrested Angel Gonzalez Valencia. He is charged with aggravated cruelty to animals. That's a Class E felony, meaning he could face a minimum of a year in jail and up to $3,000 in fines.
All right, there has been an issue in Nashville as well involving a dog. A dog died after being trapped on a balcony in heat. Police say that there was no water, no food accessible to that dog, and that it appeared the animal was so desperate to escape that it chewed through the metal gate of the balcony to get out. Metro Animal Care and Control says by the time they arrived, the dog was dead. The shelter recommends keeping dogs cool and keeping them inside. All right, Stefano, let's cover the first alert forecast. We have major, dangerous, and brutal heat, not just today, but today all the way through the weekend.
All the way through the weekend, Amanda. It's for the entire state, the exception being probably some of the highest elevations in the Cumberland Plateau and out toward the Smokies, where things will be a little bit cooler, but still honestly uncomfortable. At some point, we're just splitting hairs with the difference in temperature. So everyone needs to make sure that we're just taking the proper precautions with the extra heat. Heat advisories are in effect all the way through Friday across the entire state, with temperatures today topping off well into the 90s, low, mid, maybe even the upper 90s in some spots in Middle Tennessee as we go through today. A lot of sunshine. I won't say no to a spotty shower, but that's all it's going to be, is a very isolated rain shower. Tonight, still very warm and humid. 70s waking up tomorrow morning. Some spots may not even get out of the 80s until about 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, and that's very briefly because then temperature really rebounds in the afternoon. Passing shower out in East Tennessee, so Knoxville, Chattanooga, don't be surprised for that, or a rumble of thunder. Pretty much dry elsewhere across the state as we're still in the mid to the upper 90s. Your all-important muggy meter will keep dew points in the low and into the mid 70s. So keeping things very uncomfortable, downright oppressive in some areas, with a heat index between 100 to 105, but could get up to as high as 110 in some areas today, tomorrow, into our day Thursday. Friday and Saturday will be a little bit more bearable, but still extreme caution needs to be used heading into the weekend, with the heat index still in the triple digits, Amanda.
Well, Tennessee is on a list for the top 10 dangerous states for commuters. A new study from Hasbrook and Hasbrook personal injury lawyers ranked Tennessee 4th. It says there are 4.4 accidents per every 10,000 commuters in Tennessee, and that the state's average commute is around 25 minutes, among the longest in the list. Researchers say the state's recent investment, though, to improve infrastructure could make the commute safer.
I'm Taylor Tucker. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is looking into a case where Memphis police say an officer shot and killed a man. Just before 6 o'clock yesterday morning, police arrived to the gas station on Winchester Road near Goodland. That's where they found the suspect armed with a screwdriver standing outside the business. Now, officers followed the man into the gas station where police say he tried to stab the officer in the chest.
When the officer followed the individual into that gas station, he charged the officer rather, with a screwdriver in his hand, striking the officer in his vest. At that time, the officer fired his weapon, striking the man. That man was taken to Regional 1 Hospital where he was pronounced deceased.
A crime data check shows in a half-mile radius of this location, there have been 6 aggravated assaults just in the last month alone. From the WMC Action News 5 newsroom in Memphis, I'm Taylor Tucker.
The body of a man missing for several months is now found. The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office tells us Guy Rowe DeMasilis was found dead in a camper where he had been staying. He was last seen back in March. No foul play is suspected.
A Nashville man could soon be sent back to prison after recently having his murder conviction overturned. Supporters of Thomas Clardy held a prayer vigil for him last night. Clardy was convicted in a 2007 triple shooting that killed 1 person. He served 17 years before a judge overturned his conviction in 2023 over a lack of evidence. But earlier, a court of appeals reversed the order overturning the conviction.
I don't know if I can actually say I'm preparing myself, taking in all consideration that it's a possibility that I will have to go back. However, I'm still hopeful, and I have, full confidence that justice can be prevailed.
Clardy's lawyer says the move is unprecedented, so she's trying to get clemency and calling on Governor Bill Lee to act.
I would say the reinstatement of a conviction is exceedingly rare. We have, looking across the United States, we've only found a handful of cases where this has happened. We certainly hope that the governor will look at the letters that have been sent in, the people in the community who are saying they've met Thomas and what a volunteer and servant-oriented person he is.
So far, no date has been set for Clardy to return to prison.
For the first time in 30 years, Dolly Parton is heading back to Las Vegas for a short-term residency. The East Tennessee native will perform her hit songs in 6 shows at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace in December. This is the first time she's toured since 2016. Her last Las Vegas residency included nearly 50 shows from 1990 through 1993. Tickets for her new residency go on sale tomorrow morning. In the WVLT newsroom, I'm Whitney Turner.
Thanks for joining us for Tennessee in 10.